the third category or type of street connected children are those that are born on the street. So some of the teenagers, 13, 14, 15, they come on the street either hustle to make a living or are actually sleeping because they've left their homes in the rural settings. They get sexually either raped or they get defiled or they get coerced into sexual prostitution and all kind of things. Then they have babies. So these children, all they know is the street as their home.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Love, Awaken, and Prosper. Today, I have three amazing guests that are doing wonderful things to help the children of this world. We have Hilda Willis, Charlene Bowden, and Paul Semeh from Ghana. Paul is from Ghana. Charlene and Hilda are here in Atlanta right now. And I am so grateful to have the three of you come and talk to me on the show. Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Sergia. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Well, thank you all for being here. I wanted to start with Charlene. I know that you founded It's Just Us Productions. And how did you come to all across, the continent to get in contact with Paul Semeh at Street Children Empowerment Foundation? Like, how did that happen? How does this collaboration happen?
Hi, Sergia. Thank you for this opportunity. It's a wonderful story, and I'm going to try to put it in a capsule and share it with you. So just a little history on It's Just Us Productions. Prior to it being a production company, we started as a radio show. One show back, I think in 2008, just wanted to have a platform for people to come and to share their authentic journey in their lives. I called it a place of telling the middle story. That's what happened to me. I kept getting lost in the middle story of other people. I didn't know how they got to where they were. I heard their beginning and I heard their end, but I missed the middle. And that's where I found myself stuck in the middle. So 2008, the radio show started. A couple of years later, I met this amazing woman, named Hilda Willis. I'm rushing, named Hilda Willis. And she truly, I don't want to, overuse this word, but she was truly a godsend in every aspect of the word. And it would take a full 1 hour show just to touch the surface of how amazing she's been in my life. So I won't start on that process. So I met Hilda, and a few years later, this is the course of time, a couple of years after that, we started a pilot for a TV show, but It's Just Us talk show. And out of that, we just kept going and growing. And today we have 3 TV shows. We have 3 radio shows, including the one that our favorite host, Paul, is a part of, which is It's Just Us Ghana Live. And
nice.
So how I met Paul, I went on a missions trip to Ghana in 2019. I was introduced to Paul here in the States by Anita Davis Defoe, who is now an ambassador. I want to shout that out to her real quick. She introduced us. She saw a kindred there. She saw a potential intersection for the two of us to combine our visions and our passions in giving voice to people in places that wouldn't ordinarily have them. So we met while I was here, while he was there. And when I arrived in Ghana, it was just as Anita envisioned. We connected, we embraced, we held hands, we prayed, we broke bread together. We just came together and talked about the possibilities around It's Just Us Ghana Live. So excited that in 2020, of all years, we were able to bring that to fruition and did the pilot season for It's Just Us Ghana Live. So I hope I covered the who, the how, the what, the when, and the why is, again, just to create a platform for authenticity, for interconnectedness, for us to share our stories, to tell our authentic stories, to dispel myths. That's the why of all of this as it pertains to It's Just Us.
Yes. And as far as being telling a story, can you share a particular story that definitely connected you and Paul as far as working with the children in Ghana and the Street Children Empowerment Foundation? Like, what happened? What's that? What did you meet the children? Did you go into the school? Like, what was it that touched you that and made you say, we got to do this?
In all transparency, what touched me was the mission and the drive that I had before I boarded the plane. I left here with intentionality. I wanted to not travel to Ghana to be a part of what people may say is a tourist opportunity. I went to intentionally connect with people. And of course, in connecting with people, children create this sweet spot of connecting with people because they have the purest hearts, the purest intentions. And then, yes, we had a chance. I think that was our first visit, was to go to SCEF when we arrived in Ghana. It was moving, so moving to see the children, to see the interaction with the children, to meet some of the parents that were there, the staff and the team at SCEF, and all of the great work that they're doing. Then we went over to the coast in Old Jamestown and went and saw the orphanage. And just the children just kept speaking to me, and just the heart of them, and just wanting then to make sure, as much as I could, to make sure that their voices were heard. Because if we can give them a place for them to share their story, for them to share their experiences from their viewpoint, I believe that in that change can happen. It may happen one person at a time, but I believe that change can happen if we can just continue to wrap our arms around and embrace our young people in every way possible. And I've learned through working with Hilda and through being in a sisterhood with Hilda that the arts is a beautiful place for this to happen. It is the purest, one of the purest places for this to happen. So that is what happened when I met Paul, when I arrived there in Ghana. And again, my mission and my goal here paved the course and outlined the course for me when I arrived there in Ghana.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, Charlene. I know that we only have you for a few minutes, and I thank you for giving us your time. Great success to you and Hilda, and of course, Paul. But thank you for your time right now. And I hope to interview you again and get some more of all the stories that I know you definitely have to tell. So thank you so much.
I do. And if I can share one more thing before I
Sure, please. Please go ahead.
It would be so wrong of me not to mention It's Just Us in the Community, which is the nonprofit that I founded again in 2020. It was an amazing year in 2020. Just wanting to work with young people, again, here in the United States, nationally here, to help them to first understand themselves and how they fit into this big global picture as an individual, so that they can then see how they connect with others abroad. Others, even if it's abroad in that the person that they're connecting with is sitting in the desk next to them. I believe that if they can understand themselves and then learn to respect and understand the person next to them when they do have an opportunity to travel abroad, like I'm really hoping that they will be able to, that they can dispel some of the other stuff. They can move some of the cloudy stuff out the way, so that once they arrive wherever they're going, they can just really get to have business opportunities, to work on their career, whether that's sports or the arts or whatever it is. If they can just plow through some of the yikes of meeting someone that's not quite like them, I believe that they can then work to build and to grow and to become. So thank you for letting me share It's Just Us in the Community. You want to visit our website, it's IJUinthecommunity.org. The production company is IJUProductions.com. Thank you again so much for this opportunity. I am humbled. I'm absolutely humbled, Sergia. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Charlene. I will definitely put your information for all the viewers to link to at the bottom of the screen. Thank you for your time, and oh my goodness, the work that you're doing is just amazing, you know. And I definitely look up to you because it's definitely we're in line, because that's a lot of the things that I want to do as well. And you're ahead of me, so maybe, you know, I know that I can learn from you. I know that I could definitely learn from you. So thank you.
Arm in arm. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Yes, yes. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
So Miss Charlene has left the building, and we're so grateful to have her. Paul, I wanted to talk to you.
My name is Paul Semeh. I'm the founder and executive director of the Street Children Empowerment Foundation. I call myself an impactpreneur because my definition of leadership is more of bringing an impact, making sure that the best assets of this world, the human resource, the children who are roaming on the streets of Accra and in Ghana are given the opportunity to be empowered so they can do it for themselves.
Wow, the work that you are doing. First, you look so young, you know, for somebody that looks so young to be able to accomplish as much as you have with, you call it Street Children Empowerment Foundation, and you call it SCEF. That's how SCEF.
Yeah. Yes.
Cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Tell me, how did this idea come about for the viewers so that they could learn? How did you come up with this idea of, it's a big idea. It's a big, bodacious idea. Tell me, how did it happen?
Yeah, I would start by saying special thanks to Hilda, Charlene, you, Sergia, Starr, for this opportunity to tell the self-story, to share the inspiration. Frankly speaking, yes, I am young. I didn't do any of this. It was only God that led the way and I followed. That's how it started, actually. I got called to do this. I was into student leadership back in University of Ghana campus, and I was hoping that I was going to serve my country in any position of leadership. But I had a clear voice in my final years: serve people who cannot give back to you. That is what leadership is. So for me, the definition of leadership changed from that day. You give to people who cannot give back to you. That is when you can say you are making impact, you're making a change, you're leading people into where they are supposed to be. So that's how the self story began. So I had a bank job. I kind of like internships after in uni. I had quite a solid relationship where I was going to continue or be hired. But I threw all of that out when I had this clear voice from God that, hey, this is something you should do full time. So that's how I started. Plus, I was on the street myself growing up. I was raised by a single mom. So having to go back there was a bit tough for me, knowing that I am not from a rich family. I don't have cash, I don't have money. How am I going to do all of this? But with God's intervention and support and my experience on the street, I used my street smartness to be able to convert little opportunities into what you can see now. So it's been a roller coaster that I kind of started, but I had a lot of amazing people join at the board level, as volunteers, as interns, as partners like Charlene and Hilda, and you, even Sergia now. So that's how it all began. We did survey of children. We want to see the situation. I had been on the street, but what is the actual fact? What is the reason why children are ending up on the street? Education is supposed to be free.
Paul, I know you're talking about the street children, and so just for our audience to understand what you mean by street children, just to give us a clearer definition. I mean, I was, my mom was a single mother. There was drugs in the home. There was abuse in my home, domestic violence. And so for me, I feel like I was like a street child as well, because the street is what teaches you, right? Like we call it the hood, the ghetto, up in, I'm from Harlem, New York, and the Bronx, was raised in those areas. And when you say street, it's when a child, to me, when a street child is when you don't really have people guiding you, like your family may not be able to control you or guide the child. Can you give me a picture of how it looks like to be a child in the streets of Ghana, where the streets of Ghana are raising the child?
Okay, so thank you again. There are three key definitions or categories or classes or types, for want of synonyms, of children in street situations or street connected children or street children. There is the urban poor street child. Now, this child may be coming from the ghetto, may be coming from a home that has abuse, a home that has situations. There's no food all the time, so the child have to go on the street to hustle, to work and make a living. So that kind of child is also a street child per UNICEF and international definition. So once the child is making a lot of their time on the street to make a living, they need the street to be able to make a living, to eat, to be able to live and do all the things they have to do. Then that child is called a street child. Because
what kind of hustle do they do when you say they have to hustle? What does that look like?
Okay, so there are children selling there's quite heavy traffic in Accra. So you would see that like if you're driving through Accra, there's a lot of waiting in the traffic lights. So you see a lot of children that are selling all sorts of things. You can get you can even get a shovel sometimes, you can get a knife, you can get a pen, you can get water, you can get biscuits, you can get, name it, even fruits, vegetables are all sold on the streets. There is also the type that are in the markets and they are carrying loads. So the popular name for them is Kayaye or Kayahi, where they are carrying headquarters. So you go to the market, a local market. It's not like the big supermarkets you may have in the States or in developed countries. The market is really locally arranged. Food is kind of sometimes put on tables or sometimes on a mat on the floor and sold. So people walk through the market and buy all sorts of goods. So they put it in a big pan where some children carry it on their head to follow the shoppers around, so they can put their food stuff in. And this load can get very, very, very heavy. There are some of the kids picking things they want to go and sell and make a living. Like when you take chicken out of the cardboard, some children are picking this cardboard to go and sell. Some people are picking like the straw from wood, the sawdust. Some are picking the sawdust to go and sell. Some are selling coconuts. Some are selling all manner of things that put their life at risk. And this is done within school-going hours. Okay. And then we have some of the kids that through rural-urban migration, they've come from the rural settings into the urban centers, hoping to get money from like whichever means. They are from a little village, they just join a car and come to the city. And they feel, oh, once they get to the city, they can find their auntie. Everybody have been talking about that an auntie lives in Accra. And Accra is a big place with sometimes over 1 million people. There's no way you can find that auntie. So they sleep in the open air, they sleep in front of kiosks at the mercy of the weather. And these children join all the other children to sell, to make a living on the streets. Then the sad category or type of street connected children are those that are born on the street. So some of the teenagers, 13, 14, 15, they come on the street either to hustle to make a living, or are actually sleeping because they've left their homes in the rural settings. They get sexually either raped, or they get defiled, or they get coerced into sexual prostitution and all kind of things, and they have babies. So these children, all they know is the street as their home. They have not grown up in any regular home. So those children crawl in the streets. They know their home, the street as their home, and they join their parents very early in life, either scavenging for on the main spoiler or waste dump areas to collect either recycled products to sell to make a living, or carry loads in the market.
Wow.
Anything that you can sell, anything sellable, you sell it.
Wow. You have definitely given me a clear picture. Now I really understand, because that was not even in my mind to see, because I just don't know, right?
Can I jump in?
Oh, sure. This is Hilda. Go ahead, please.
Right. So this is probably wow. So I know. Okay. You and I are actually aligned in the work that Sergia knows is my life work, and it's her life work, and it's your life work. And that Charlene has been an instrument, a chosen vessel by God to, in a lot of ways, but he used her as a connector. And so living your art, which is something that Paul is just not even aware of in terms of me, is the name of my ministry, Paul.
Yeah.
The ministry, right.
I know.
Right. So Charlene is becoming more and more and more aware and stepping into her ministry. And part of her stepping into that ministry is this global work and becoming more culturally aware, right? And so it's just us is allowing her that platform to do that. And so she went on a ministry trip to Ghana and made the connection with Paul. And so between him being a social worker, between him being in marketing, between him having this foundation, unbeknownst to him or Charlene even, that my connections in Ghana, my connections with the Tupac Amaru Shakur Foundation, to the Black Panther Party movement, to it was just not even knowing that I had inroads in Ghana. It was just God just working it all out, not knowing that we were planning a mental health conference. There were just so many things that were being planted, and I just saw the pandemic, God bringing all his people together. And so it's very overwhelming. It's just overwhelming when you really get down into the trenches and you understand the depths of the bowels and the vileness, and that there's so much work to do, and you got to get your hands dirty, and you really realize the people that have seen this stuff close up, it's not play. It's serious work.
It's really serious work. I saw that. I got to see that with what Paul is sharing about these young kids.
I don't believe in happenstance. I believe that if God called me today, that there's a reason that you and Sergia are on this call. I just believe that the Tupac Amaru Shakur Foundation have many mantras. Most organizations do that do the work, but one of the things that that we say to the children is, what you do now matters forever. It's not a game, not a game. And city kids, they say, keep a positive thought, because a positive thought cannot be denied. And yes, with positive youth truth, Sergia, I was listening to you and watching you on the screen. You said it so wonderful when you said, I'm reframing, have you always wanted to be an actress? The question was yes. And what I heard him really asking you was, if that's what you always wanted to be, when did you decide that you wanted to use your gifting to be impactful versus being rich and famous? And what I heard you say was that because you came to a place called Mind Builders and participated in something called Positive Youth Troop, which was really dedicated to using the arts to help young people do youth-centered, teen issue-based theater for other teens, and that you understood that doing that, you saw it change another young person's life, that you decided that that's what you wanted to do with your art because you understood it could change and impact somebody's life. I could like drop the mic on my life's work, because that is the pure essence of art. Like God is a creator, and he created us to find our path. And I just truly believe that when we use whatever our passion is, it's not about art to me. Well, whatever your passion is, when you use your passion, it doesn't have to be art. Art happens to be your passion. Whatever a person's passion is, leads them to that place, puts them in a place of leadership. It doesn't matter if you're leading 2 or 3 or thousands or 10,000s or millions, but you're in your place. It puts you in a place of leadership, and you impact those people, and those people then impact more people. So it doesn't matter what your calling is. If once you find your calling, then you impact those people. Oh God, I can't remember what the question was, but Paul made a distinction around art not necessarily having to be around being a star, that it really just helps build confidence. It helps build discipline. And so, Paul, we are planning the 40th year reunion of the program that Sergia is referencing. And out of those young people, we were looking at how many are now grandparents, how many of them are now, we've trained 3 generations of their children, but they are business owners. They're not all just performing artists, they're teachers. They're healers, they're therapists. It's really about how arts have given them the confidence to follow their passion, to tell their truths, and to be unapologetic about who they've come to be in their life, and about how to heal and forgive, and to not be victims of the circumstances in which they were born.
Yes.
Because they didn't have anything to do with that.
I wanted to thank you, Hilda, for sharing so much and always sharing your heart. Thank you for that. I wanted to just, before we close, ask you a closing question, Paul. What is your grand vision, your grand goal for your organization? Like, how do you see these children? Like, what is it that you see the children becoming and doing? I mean, it's I know it's an obvious question, but like, what is the bigger end goal for you and your organization staff?
Okay, so like Hilda said, I mean, anytime we talk, Hilda just has a way of putting you on the mountaintop, and you are just beginning to climb to have a better overview of the whole mountain, the whole world. And one very critical reason why I am doing what I'm doing, I gave a lecture in Finland to students why I do what I'm doing, and you asked me the same question. And as part of that, they said, "You're an amazing leader. Would you consider leading the country one day?" I said, "No, because we have taken the basket to the tap to fetch water, and instead of fixing the basket, changing it completely into a bucket, what we keep doing is enlarging the tap. We open the mouth of the tap so wide, hoping that the basket will retain some water in it. That's the situation we have here. The problem with our continent of us colored, whether at home or in the diaspora, is that we have holes in our system. We have a lot of things that we need to fix at the grassroots. The change is not going to come from the top. It's going to come from the bottom. And so we need to go down there, all of us, one person. You can't change everybody, but you just have to commit that, even if it's one child. I have been doing this for, I've gotten emotional, sorry. But if it's okay. I've affected about 400 lives. I'm not saying I've had positive, completely change their life from worse to good. But what is important is that we can make no one go untapped. All of us have special talent, gifts. All of us were made by the Creator in our own beautiful ways. And all somebody needs is just this conversation. Somebody believing in them and saying, you can do it. You know, you don't have to give up on yourself. You don't have to throw your life away. You can do it. You want to go to school? Paul, I am there. I will support you. I'm not saying you're going to get into university and become the best lecturer or be the best at anything, but you can become the best version of yourself. That is a grand scheme. I am not seeking to reach 1 million children and have high targets and say, oh, these are the... I want to make sure that no matter how young I am, when my time on earth is done, I can say that when it comes to our race, when it comes to our wealth, I didn't live it the way I saw it. I came and I didn't seek to be at the top where the tap is coming and the money, the funding, and all the things are coming. And I am taking all the accolades and I am in front of everyone. But I took a place in the trenches. I took a place in the place that is needed most. I went down the gutters. I went to the people the children that couldn't talk, disabled children that were left to die. I was there for them. I held their hands. I worked with people. We got surgery for them. They are alive. They could contribute. They don't have to be the geniuses of our world, but they were able to live a simple life. So once everybody is contributing something into the basket hopefully will have all the holes sealed. Then development rises. Then we change our story. Then we tell a different story. So if you ask me, why am I doing this? What do I see as the end goal? I'm hoping to create more multipliers. Children who will see that I didn't have money. I didn't come from an affluent, wealthy family. I wasn't a star. But I committed my life's course to making sure their life became better, that they can also take the same trend. They can also go that same path so that together we hold like the unity drives. We together rise from the grassroots and we climb up. That is
awesome. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you for your passion and for expressing yourself in such a way where I know that, like, everyone can do what you're doing. You're basically saying you want to multiply yourself. And if the heart is there to do it, because I think it is a calling, right? To have, I always come to that word, courage, to have the courage to do it, to do what your heart is telling you to do, right? Hilda, thank you also for being here, and the three of you have gotten together to create some wonderful things here in Atlanta and Ghana. Can you tell me about your position with It's Just Us Productions and how you are working with SCEF, the Street Children Empowerment Foundation, with Paul?
Thank you, Sergia. And you know, you are so patient with me. Goodness gracious. I've learned a lot just trying to be on the Zoom and where to look and all that. Yes, this is a passion project for me, first of all. So I love that I've gotten to meet Paul, and so grateful that Charlene went to Africa so that she could meet him. Aside from being a part with the production company, I serve as the creative director for the IJU Ghana Live partnership. In our second season, we want to create a program where we are focusing on the youth and looking at how to have the young people in Atlanta sharing in the lives of the young people in Ghana, and them hosting their own radio show, and how important it is for them to, in becoming global citizens, understanding the things that they have in common. And this whole notion of what the differences are, I say they're not really many differences, if any, because I think the things that show up on that list of differences are really connected to misinformation or not really having any information at all. And so I could be challenged on things not being different. We're all different. So yes, there are differences, but those differences are around style of dress and the types of foods we like and the things we like to cook in our food, like spices and different types of music. So when I look at those kinds of things, they're cultural differences. But we have cultural differences right here.
Yes, and in New York, you know, Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, African Americans, Jewish people, white people. I grew up with so many different cultures, and that's the idea, right? So can you remind me? Just tell us again. I know that you're trying to bring a group of American children to Ghana. Is that the vision?
Well, eventually, when folks can travel and, you know, people are comfortable with that, but, you know, exploring this idea of what it would be like for them to host their own show and interview in their own communities, and then meet each other virtually and talk about their lives and talk about the things that they're all going through, and us producing those shows, and that they would air, on radio across the globe, and just see what happens. That's the vision. And if it needs to start on radio based on the budget, then it starts on radio. But our goal is for it to be television. That's the goal.
That's awesome. That's a beautiful goal, because what I see when you're talking and understanding, you're training a group of young people to have a skill to that either they can use it for themselves, but when they grow up, as far as doing talk radio shows or working behind a camera or in front of the camera. That these are actually skills that people can figure out a way to survive, as grown-ups.
And having a livable wage. Yeah. So, and all the components are there. So it's very much in alignment with what my life work has been in terms of arts and education, life skills, and knowing who we are and why we are and how we exist. And more importantly, or just as important, but what it is to be sustainable.
Yes. And that is what Paul is saying about, the educating young people, and not just in the books, but other life skills that we all need. Thank you so much. That's a wonderful vision. Where can people find you here in Atlanta?
Our website, it's justusproductions.com. You can get information there about all of our shows that we produce. We have 3 talk shows and 3 radio shows. We have It's Just Us in the Community. That is our nonprofit arm. We have It's Just Us Gone Alive. You can find out about all of our programs on any of those websites.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Hilda, for being here at Love, Awaken, and Prosper. We are with, this is a global vision, an international exchange with Ghana. We're here with Paul Semeh. Thank you, Paul Semeh, for being in the show. Thank you, Hilda, for your time, and Charlene Bowden as well, who had to leave. But I am so grateful for the work that you have done. Hilda Willis, everyone should know that she is the original director of my one-woman show, I Didn't Cry. She is my mentor. She is my stage godmother. And she is someone who has made me into the woman that I am. She's definitely have planted seeds in the spirit of mine to be and have the audacity to be who I would claim and want to be here in this world. And so Paul, you are in great hands, and your children as well are in great hands to be blessed by Hilda. And definitely the whole world will soon know what you're up to in a big way. God bless you all. Thank you for being here again. I love you so much. Everyone, thank you for watching. Please hit like, please share, please subscribe. God bless you. Bye-bye.